cracked it open just now.
I don't
Hey,
think.
hey, right down midway, step right up, see Jojo the dog face boy. He walks, he talks, he crawls on the belly like a reptile. 1 dime, 10 cents, tenth of a dollar. Lady with a baby, step right on in.
Yep. Testing 1, 2, 3. What?
You got a patch over.
Army.
Absolutely. So
Oh, a
basically
pocket.
at Urban
It's a
Village,
pocket.
I
U.S.
see.
Army.
and
I
if you're gonna
see.
make a claim
It's my
like
U.S.
that,
Army
you have to
shirt.
provide a table big enough for everyone. So that's
Okay.
what we want to do. We want to
Okay.
create Birmingham's biggest dinner table, and we want to invite the entire
Guess we
community
can
to join us. So
mute the
outside
TV.
barbecue. It's going to be delicious. The event is brought to you by Stewart
When
Lee
you get
Advisors.
ready.
We also have an amazing concert that evening by Act of Congress, which is provided by Division 4 Solutions. Act of Congress is a local band, and they are amazing. You don't want to miss it. They even have a special song that they're going to be playing that evening that really hits home. So you can expect a fun, family-friendly atmosphere, delicious food, great music, and it's right there in Railroad Park.
Well, I guess we just. We've been talking about Grandpa John A. I guess we'll just pick up right there.
All right.
You already got it on?
I do.
Oh, shoot.
I do. Candid's always best for me. Perfection's overrated.
Okay.
I'm fixing to be through, and I'll see y'all tomorrow to do my bathrooms.
Okay.
So,
I like what you've done to your face.
it's not really my face. What is it?
Well, he's saying it frames your face
Oh,
well.
oh,
I think is
okay.
what he's telling you.
Oh, okay. It's my. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, mother. Yeah, it's my hair. They kind of
Well,
layered it. Right now, I'm sweating.
it's you're tanning in your face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm taking the cloth off just a little bit. Not all the time though, because I usually cover my face.
Looks pretty.
Thank you. I thought you was talking about my hair, Lynn, because I got it cut a little bit.
I see it's a little different, but
Yeah.
your face seems to pop a little more.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Well, good.
Pretty.
Good. I need it. Okay. I'm fixing to be through, so I'm gonna leave y'all alone and go home. I'm done.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, and I'll be back tomorrow to do my bathrooms and all that. How's that sound?
Well, I thought for sure you would hang around and listen to my
I would.
fairy tales.
I would. I love that.
We about to go into one of them.
Oh, are y'all?
Mm-hmm. You want to listen?
I love listening.
I know you
Oh,
do.
I do.
I know you do. You got time?
Yeah. Let me see what I got. Let's get my stuff out of here.
All right.
Yeah, I can stay for about 30 minutes, but yeah, I want to hear something.
You want to hear something?
Something-
definitely
it's
hear
always
something.
good from him. It
Yep.
is.
Yep.
I want to talk to you a few minutes today about my great grandpa, William Anderson Maddox. The story sort of begins with him joining Georgia's 10th Rifle Regiment at the beginning of the Civil War, actually a little before the beginning of the Civil War. Grandpa had a farm in Carrollton County, Georgia. His farm consisted of the plantation house, which was a humble red brick, extra large brick, 3-bedroom home, and two slave shanties and a barn. When the war began, the 10th Rifle Regiment was called to duty and fought their way to Vicksburg, Mississippi. In Vicksburg, the Union forces were greatly enhanced, and it was a battle till it stalemated 2 regiments, 1 Union and 1 Confederate, along the banks of the Mississippi River. On around the 15th day of continuous fighting, the 10th Georgia Rifle Regiment was out of ammunition and out of food. The decision was made for the 10th Rifle Regiment to surrender en masse. The commander surrendered to a regiment of the Union Army, and upon surrendering, the Union commander accepted their surrender and says, "We can't do nothing for you. We've eaten half of our horses. We redistributed ammunition this morning, and we have 3 rounds per rifle. In other words, we're unable to perform our mission anymore. Anyway, the best I can do for you Confederates is you surrender your weapons, get in formation, and take a sworn oath never to fight against the U.S. again. No other way but to accept the conditions." The 10th stacked their arms and ammunition, got in formation, and swore an oath never to fight against the U.S. again. After the ceremony was complete, the Union commander gave an armed escort to lead the 10th back through their lines till they were beyond them, point them towards Georgia, and say, "Go home." Now remember, the Confederate Army has been through. Now the Union Army came through. Every laying hen was killed to feed the troops. Every milk cow was destroyed for beef. Many of the plantations were burned, and the 10th had to make their way through these ravaged lands and find Carroll County, Georgia. you can imagine every plantation had been raped of its food values. Vegetable gardens were destroyed. Everything available to eat was taken. But somehow the 10th Rifle Regiment made it to Carroll County, Georgia. "11 months later, Sherman's march to the sea took off in the Virginias and made its way to Lookout Mountain. Heavy resistance at Lookout and Chattanooga, often called the Battle of Chattanooga, other times called the Battle of Lookout, occurred. Much of Chattanooga burned, and Sherman was to sweep south through Georgia to Savannah and load his troops up and go back to Washington. On his rape and pillage south, he approached Rome, Georgia, and the 10th Rifle Regiment. The 10th fought hard, but ended up surrendering en masse in Rome, Georgia. From there, the regiment was imprisoned in Atlanta, Georgia, and remained there until the war was over some 8 months later. Correction, that was about 6 months later. When the war ended, my grandfather, John Anderson Maddox, returned to his home in Carroll County. His modest plantation house, land, barn, all animals were seized by the Union forces. He was informed that that was no longer his home. His 200 and something acres were part of the Reconstruction program, and he would get none of it. Instead, he was issued a mule, a one-horse wagon, an axe, a file, and a saw, and given a plat of 40 acres in rural county, Clay County, Alabama. For those with any knowledge of Clay County, the very south of Clay County, to this day is still quite wooded and almost at poverty levels as far as price of real estate and living conditions. John A. found his 40 acres, and he was one of the lucky ones because it was at a cross trail, and he had the southeast quadrant of the intersection. His 40 acres was approaching the trail on two sides. It was all covered with virgin white oak and red oak, and no place to grow anything. Alone with small boys, he started to develop his 40 acres. as time passed, and many people unable to make it in that rural area called Bluff Springs, Alabama. It's still a community, sparsely populated. But as people were leaving the area because they couldn't make a living in virgin oak trees, Grandpa had cleared a spot big enough that he had some corn and some peas, and he started trading with people leaving with almost nothing. Oftentimes it was a poor, half-starved horse or mule, a half-starved milk cow, and Grandpa established a business at the cross trails, and he always kept a fat horse or two and a fat cow or two around, and he would trade a fat productive cow for a poor cow and take a few dollars for the difference, and he became a trading post. Used farm tack harnesses to pull a plow or wagon or a saddle to ride a horse, and he would take almost anything for trade. He was blessed with good crops of corn and peas and fed lots of people. Bushel of corn, bushel of peas, and a transfer of whatever they had. And he became, I guess I wouldn't say wealthy, but he became financially stable as a trader, later a general store. However, this occurred after the war and was all part of Reconstruction. Now I want to back up and intervene on during the war. The 10th Rifle Regiment of Georgia was in sustained combat for 6 months and ended up back to Vicksburg, Mississippi, to the banks of the Mississippi River. There they fought until there was no fight left, no food, no munitions to speak of. Upon the surrender, little is known about the march back, but it had to be several months. Nobody was recording it. And I can imagine that they had to hit a swamp and just start digging roots or anything else they could find to eat. But they made it back to Carroll County. Now, Sherman's March to the Sea caught the 10th at Rome, Georgia, and once again they surrendered and spent the last 6 months of the war prison in Atlanta. The sadness of all of this, as far as our family is concerned, is the hardship that Grandpa and Grandma Maddox faced. Their plantation was taken away from them. He said, "No, you don't own it anymore. It belongs to the Union. And we'll divide it into 40 acres as we see fit. And you're gone." No laying hens, no milk cow, no garden, and sent off to virgin oak country. Where you put a garden in if you've got oaks everywhere. You can't. You got to get rid of the trees. So there's no doubt that the fate of the entire 10th Rifle Regiment of Georgia suffered some extreme hardships. That part that Grandpa Maddox was in here over 100 years later is still a remote, poverty-stricken area. And I guess we'll be well into the future. Another front that concerned Grandpa was Grandma was a Cherokee, and her name was Birdsong. When I was a child, I remember seeing the tomb, and Granddaddy was here with William Anderson Maddox, and the other side had a tomb marking Grandma, and all it said was Lady Birdsong. In the 1910 census, the census taker came in and said, "I can't put Lady Birdsong down. That's obviously an Indian name, and you can still get sent to a reservation out in Oklahoma." So they concocted her a name for the census, and it was Polly Ann Birdsong. So they got it in the 1910 census. She is listed as Polly Ann Birdsong. Well, several of my father's brothers got together and said, "We want to make it right." So they had a new tombstone made that said Polly Ann Birdsong. They took up Lady Birdsong and put down Polly Ann Birdsong. And that still exists at a church in the Sardis community, not far from Bluff Springs, south of Ashland, about 8 miles. Little else is known about John Anderson. I didn't mean to say that. William Anderson Maddox. Other than his exploits. Dumb enough to get captured twice. It wasn't his individual decision, it was a decision of his regimental commander, I guess. But needless to say, the entire 10th went through hell. And somehow or another survived. Now, John Anderson and Birdsong were produced by Grandpa, which is William Benson Maddox Sr. And my dad was William Benson Maddox Jr. And